Good morning. This is Shelby Law with the Great Basin Fire Potential Briefing for Monday, June 16th, 2025. Fire potential impacts for the next few days are shown here. The big story is the wind coming to much of Nevada and Utah today ahead of a low pressure system moving to the north. Winds are going to be strongest in the area shaded in brown here across central and southern Utah and southeast Nevada, where gusts could be up to 55 miles an hour or so. Otherwise, breezier winds, 30 to 35 miles an hour in this orange area. We'll see some isolated storms on our far northern border there. Otherwise, this low pressure system won't be bringing much in terms of relief. Maybe shave off a few degrees from our max temperatures tomorrow. Behind the front, we do see some gusty winds continuing on Tuesday across the Snake River Plain, western Wyoming, and the higher elevations of Utah. And then on Wednesday, we'll continue to see some breezy winds across the north as well. And the hot and dry conditions return pretty quickly on Wednesday as the ridge rebuilds. Yesterday was a quiet day for precip and lightning, not much to speak of under the sunny skies and high pressure system. Fire activity has been steadily increasing with a few more larger fires yesterday. Here, one in northwest Nevada and northwest Utah as well. And then kind of a smattering of some smaller fires here and there. Precipitation for the past 7 days does show we did have some precipitation move through central Idaho last week, but it's been dry recently. And then the past 30 days also shows very dry conditions across much of the Great Basin, except for across the far south where we did see that moisture in the beginning of the month. But since then, it's been very dry for many areas, especially the northern and central parts of the Great Basin. ERCs have been increasing rapidly as well, especially over Utah with the high pressure ridge in place, sending those ERCs up to the 80th and in some areas the 90th percentile. So a very rapid increase in fire danger, and that is expected to really maintain through the work week as the ridge rebuilds on Wednesday. ERC trends for a few areas are shown here. First, over northwest Nevada, we can see those values have been near the historical records for the past couple of weeks. Even the last few days have set new records. We can see those values leveling off just a little bit, but staying very high for the next week. Further east over the Uinta Basin, values are extremely high, above the 90th percentile already, and those values will continue to increase over the next week. We should see some of the highest ERCs over this period of record in the next week as the hot and dry conditions continue over northeast Utah. This morning's satellite imagery shows that low pressure trough moving into the Pacific Northwest this morning. That'll quickly make its way through the Great Basin throughout the day today, and it's this trough that is going to bring those really strong winds to much of parts of Nevada and Utah. So again, we're expecting that trough to quickly move into the Great Basin today with strong prefrontal winds. We do have high risk issued for much of southeast Nevada and central and southern Utah, and then along the Sierra Front as well. Along with this little trough, we will see some isolated storms over the northern central Idaho mountains later today as well. Closer look at these gusty winds show just where we're expecting those really strong gusts, up to 55 miles an hour or so possible over east central Nevada and into the west central portions of Utah, and then some gustier winds also over eastern Utah. So a very windy day today, especially across central and southern parts of the area. Minimum relative humidities are also in the single digits across Nevada and Utah, with slightly higher amounts over Idaho. On Tuesday, that trough quickly moves off to the east, and we'll see a day of some slightly cooler temperatures tomorrow, although it won't be that much cooler. Right behind that low before the ridge builds back in on Wednesday. We don't have any high-risk triggers issued for Tuesday, although we will see some breezy winds behind the front, but no high risk. Again, those breezy winds will be over western Wyoming, along the Snake River Plain, and across parts of the higher elevations of central and eastern Utah. Minimum relative humidity is still very low across Utah and Nevada, but those values may come up a few percentage points over northern Nevada and northern Utah. On Wednesday, the ridge rebuilds, bringing hot temperatures back to the area. No high-risk triggers as winds do lighten up. So again, we'll look at those winds on Wednesday, quite a bit lighter across Utah and eastern Nevada. Still some breezy winds along the Sierra Front, and then also some breezy winds over the central Idaho mountains and western Wyoming. Maximum temperatures quickly rebound back up into the mid to upper 90s, very hot in Reno and the western part of Nevada, and warm elsewhere. 3-day precip totals are shown here. Again, just looking for some isolated storms over the central Idaho mountains, mainly today into tomorrow. Another big change comes beginning on Thursday with another stronger low pressure system moving into the Pacific Northwest. This will really start winds again across the Great Basin, very strong winds, even stronger with this next system for next weekend. So we do have quite a bit of high risk in the forecast starting on Thursday across western Nevada, eastern Nevada, and western Utah with the high risk triggers for the wind ahead of that storm system. Friday, more wind across much of Nevada, western Utah, and even eastern Idaho and western Wyoming ahead of that pretty strong trough at the time of year. And that general weather pattern with the prefrontal winds continues even into Saturday, and we do have high risk triggers issued for Saturday again for much of Utah and southeast Nevada. That trough may start to bring some cooler temperatures and some showers to Idaho beginning on Saturday. But again, just a very hot, dry, windy pattern for a few days towards the end of the work week and through the weekend. And then again, finally by Sunday, we'll continue to see some of that relief coming to mainly Idaho with some precipitation and cooler temperatures. Could see a little bit of that precip making its way into northern Nevada and northern Utah for some, again, some relief there for the high fire danger conditions. Precipitation accumulations for the 7 days is shown here. Most of precip will be coming to the central Idaho mountains next weekend. Utah and Nevada remain dry for the most part, even with that next strong system. But we could see a little bit of precip and some cooler temperatures along the far northern border of Utah and Nevada. And the extended forecast for June 23rd through the 29th is calling for near normal temperatures across Nevada and even some cooler temperatures over parts of Idaho and Utah. Still dry forecast, however, with below normal precipitation expected over Utah and Nevada, but some chances of precipitation moving into the southwest during this time frame as well. So we'll be watching to see if any of that makes it up into the southern Great Basin, especially in the form of some drier storms or something like that. That concludes today's briefing. Please check back tomorrow for the latest updates.